Hi there, everyone. This is Sharon for another Self Care You Nugget. And so today, what we will talk about is choose you. And so before we get started, make sure you like and share, make sure you turn on your notifications, and make sure that you subscribe so that you will know when these I'm about to say conscious sharing nuggets. Self care nuggets are on because when it comes to time, we never know what time something is going to happen, something is going to unfold. So always be prepared. And so choose you. One thing that I want to say is everything that happens in life is for you. Everything that happens in life is for you. And so life will present itself, whether it's decisions that you have made from years back, yesterday, but life will position you to choose you. It will make you think that you're helping someone else, but it's for you to choose you. It is not being selfish because believe me, I can say this from a personal thing in that any time that I did not put myself first, that I did not pour into myself, when I call myself helping someone else out, I got burned. And so when I look back on any experiences that I've had, that I did not choose me. And so the same goes for you. Again, it is this thing about being nice and being kind. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, you got your own back. And just remember, too, a lot of times, I don't want to say every single person, but a lot of times, most people are functioning out of their own survivor guide anyway. And what I've seen, it doesn't matter how much work that we have done, because even me, sometimes I go down to my survivor side. Not intentionally, because that's the other thing. It's not always conscious per se, but it could be conscious in how people choose things because they're looking out for themselves. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying it from a selfish point of view. It may sound like it's selfish, but what if the other person is being selfish? You know? And so I am saying all of this not just because of my own experience, but because of conversations after conversations that I've had with others, in the sense that anytime you're doing something nice for others. And again, of course, use your discernment of when you should not do that. But especially when it's at your gut, the only thing I can say is the more emotional you are about a decision, lay back. And sometimes go and talk to someone, grab a family friend, even a stranger. When it comes to making decision, it is not selfish. Again, this is where self-care comes into play because it comes where you will choose you. Because when I think, because part of you, because I'm going to say this too, because the first response, especially when something is not in your favor, you're like, I'm never ever going to help another soul again. I've said that, but once I've calmed down, I'm like, you know what? I can't do this because God did not place me here to be selfish. It's in choosing when to choose me first. It's in choosing me. And so follow your gut, follow your intuition. Anytime something just doesn't feel right, or you're crying or complaining to someone, that means, believe me, I can say it. There are decisions that need to be made. There are actions, not just decisions, there are actions. That's what it is. And so, what I have figured out, and this is for you, this is the nugget here, is for you to be able to walk away and feel good because you chose you. You're not being selfish. You're not keeping anyone from something because we all have gifts. And at the end of the day, You can figure it out. They can figure it out, whatever it may be. And so continue to give, continue to be a giver because we are here to pour into others as well as we pour in ourselves. You're like, oh, wait a minute, Sharon, you double tracking. No, what I'm saying is use discernment of when to choose you. Because there are some situations that we have been in, it was our doing because we couldn't say no. So, whatever that thing is that you can't say no to, learn it. Because if not, you're going to shoot your own self in the back. Yes, even though other people can do other things and it's not right, but the thing is, it's for you to show up for you to support yourself. And again, when I say this, I'm talking to myself too. Remind myself, like, hey, but the key is if something doesn't feel right, you do not have to make a decision. I don't care what circumstance that anyone put you in or make you feel like that you're in a circumstance. In that, you pause. And if you need to call somebody and say, hey, if it still doesn't feel like, hey, if it still doesn't feel like you can, because think about it. It is much easier to come back to someone and say, I can do this, than it is to be in a situation and withdraw yourself from it. Most of the time, those situations are much harder, regardless. Again, I'm not talking about relationships or anything like that. I'm just generally talking about people helping people. But the message isn't for you to stop giving. The message is for you to choose you. So everything that we experience in our lives is for us. It's for us to choose and take action. And how are we going to choose us? Does it feel good? Oh, no, because you know what society. Oh, give, give, give. Look out for everybody else but ourselves. But then when we look out for ourselves and then we're called selfish, really? No, choose you first. Because when you choose you first, again, we know that some people can be really selfish when they're choosing them because they're really not thinking about anybody else. And so we're not talking about those individuals because those are the individuals that you need to choose yourself over. You see what I'm saying? And so continue to give. You put this. Use discernment when you give. Always choose you. And this is why self care is so important so that you can know the difference, so that you can get over those little uncomfortable feelings. They're going to only last for about 90 seconds anyway. And then if they last any longer than that, is any thoughts that you put to it that expand it even more so. This is why self care is so important so that you can work through those things so they won't be your hang up. We're our own hang ups, not on purpose. I always like to say that, not on purpose. Sometimes we don't even know that those things are happening. But it is so, so, so important for you to take care of you first so that you can be at your highest good, so that you can be at your highest potential, so that you can do the things that you are known to do, so that you can be you. And so, again, choose you. The lesson isn't not to never help another soul, because that means you did not get the message. You did not get the lesson. You want to feel that way. It's okay to have, or shall I say, the feeling. This is normal. But to stay there, then you're stuck. And so use your gift so that you can be the best, that you can be at your highest potential when you choose you. When you can choose you and to be able to stand in your power and to be able to say no, because when you say no, you're choosing you. Just like we want, you've heard me talk about it before, we empower people to say no. But then you're having problems saying no and you're having problems receiving no. This is where self care comes in so that you can work through whatever that thing is so that you can move on and be the best that you can. And so if you are in need of a self-care consultation, by all means, make sure you connect with me and also stay up to date and register for some of my workshops. Pretty much when it comes to my workshops, what I do for most workshops is for a particular month, I'll run them several times live, and then they would be available as a online course. And I would say catch them live. And when you do catch them live, you will have access to the replay. But catching them live is even better because of the fact you'll be able to work through and answer questions, which I say ask questions while you're there. And even though most of the time if one person have a question, someone else have a question too. So the only way for us to be able to really have the blessings of life is for us to work through the things that we need to work through within ourselves. When we're able to do that, then this is what is truly living. And so catch you next time for another Self Care You Nugget.